a super special episode here on 2OT as we have invited the Grand Slam team of the sanmigcoffeemixers for 2014. Together with Magumar John, I'm Carlo Pamintuan. Everyone, thank you for joining us in this special reunion. Coach Tim, Ma'am Rina Del Mundo, Coach Richard Del Rosario, Alexmallari, Peter June Simon, rafireavis, alleinmaliksi, and joedevance, all welcome to the show.
I just saw.
Thank you.
I just saw Elaine there. Elaine, your hair.
Yeah.
Your hair.
Elaine, where's Elaine?
The hair is so super long.
Joedevance will be joining us in just a little bit. But before we ask the basketball questions, just to start off, how has everyone been? Coach Tim, how have you been since the lockdown started?
Bored. Wishing we could get back to practice, but it's been good. I mean, I've been spending time with my family. I get a lot of time with my son. I get to coach him every day. So instead of yelling at guys like Elaine and Alex and PJ, I get to yell at my son Trevor. Poor guy.
Poor Trevor.
Yeah, poor Trevor. But he's getting
Yeah,
better.
he's used to it.
He's only 14, so he's got some growing to do still.
How about Coach Richard? How have you been, Coach Rich?
I'm doing good. Busy with cooking. That's
Busy doing videos.
for
the league.
Doing videos. Yeah, I try. Thank you.
I believe Rafi is in the US right now. Thank you for waking up, Rafi. I know it's a weird time to do a call right now.
Yeah. Way past my bedtime.
We apologize and we thank you for still joining us.
It's okay. I love you guys. It's all
Remember,
love.
I think it's right before your bedtime, right, Raph?
No.
Right before your bedtime, 4 a.m. or something like that?
No, man. Hey, I'm old, man. We go to bed early. Yeah.
And of course, me and Magu would want to thank Ma'am Rina Del Mundo for helping set this up. Ma'am Rins, thank you so much for joining us and for, just calling everyone to be in this call as well.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
She can't be excluded. She was too big of a role in the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
She was actually reluctant to join Coach Tim until I actually did a screenshot on your text that she has to be there. That's the only reason she's here. She didn't want to.
Well, we need her here.
Okay, I'm here.
She was our MIP, most important person in our run. She's got everything together for us.
Thank you.
And also joining us, of course, Alexmallari. Alex, how have you been, man?
Coaching as well. A lot of surf videos and videos.
Justin.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Also, justinmelton also here competing against alleinmaliksi for the best hair in this Zoom call right now.
There we go. I see him now.
Hey.
Mel.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, Josh.
How are you, man?
You're in town, right?
Yeah, I'm in BGC. So yeah.
You had a chance to work out?
A little bit. They just started letting us go outside and jogging. They were pretty strict here for a while, up until last week. So
yeah, same here. Same my place.
Yeah, yep. So.
Oh look.
Oh,
I was gonna say it was James Yap. Where's James? The other one. Hey Lane, where's your son?
Yes.
There you go, James. James, hi James.
Hi, Coach Tim. Just to start off with the discussions, Coach Tim, when you first arrived in the Pure Foods franchise, what did you feel was needed to be able to take this team back into championship caliber once again?
Well, I thought the big difference between coming to Pure Foods and in my career coming to Alaska is that Pure Foods was an intact team. They had tremendous talent. We kind of with Alaska we kind of had to build from from an expansion team, and we had a lot of real old team, and we had to get younger and build over a period of years. Coming to Pure Food, the team was intact. There was great talent, and there was great expectations to win right away. And I thought that was the neat part about coming into Pure Foods. It was just a matter, I thought, of just trying to get guys like PJ and James and Ping and to kind of get buy-in. And Kirby at that time. Kirby Raimundo was on the team at that time. Trying to get their buy-in to doing what we wanted to do, kind of change the team into a defensive type team and into a triangle team. So, and you know, we finished the first conference that we played as the #1 seed, but then ran into Gary David's hands, his hands, and but then was able to get Denzel in the second conference and was able to win the championship. So we won quickly. We were fortunate.
I also want to ask a question to the couple of guys who were already there before Coach Tim arrived. Coach Richard Del Rosario, Coach, kamusta yung change in the atmosphere in the squad after Coach Timcone arrived? Because they had a really good head coach handling that team for 2 weeks, and things were really looking up for the Pure Foods franchise until Coach Timcone came along.
Well, even before Coach Tim came along, that team was ready to win a Grand Slam because of that 2 weeks of preparation. Kidding aside, we were just surprised that change that we had to make, and sacrifices had to be made. It took some time also for the players. Some of the roles nagbago yung roles of some of the players, but everybody bought into the system, and it reaped the benefits for that team.
What is it, Coach Chard, about yung culture na dinala ni Coach Timcone? Ano yung pinakamalaking pagbabago from the previous yung 2 weeks mo, yung previous culture ng franchise?
Well, the thing that sticks the most para sa akin, is the philosophy that practice is important. Practice is sacred. I think that's the biggest change that happened to that team, because prior to that, of course, you had players just missing practices or were there but weren't practicing. But Coach Tim put in that system that practice was sacred, and you had to value practice. It's even more important than actual games itself, especially to start, because you're trying to teach a new system, trying to get everybody buying in. So I think that was one of the biggest things that happened.
Well, talking about practice, I think Joedevance is practicing right now. We might be disturbing him a little bit.
You're trying to
Mark
show Coach
Barroca.
Tim, and we welcome to the reunion, Mark Barroca.
Hello,
Rox, kamusta?
Okay lang. Okay lang. Kamusta kayo? Kamusta?
Bart.
Hello, Bart.
Kala ko your hat was your hair. Pero kala ko
My
your hair.
haircut is not good. Not good, Coach.
Like me.
Bad haircut.
Pareho ko.
Sup, Joss?
PJ, ikaw naman, pagdating ni Coach Tim, ano yung pinaka napansin mong pagbabago sa team nyo?
Sobrang laking pagbabago. Yung una yung discipline. And yun nga, yung practice talaga binavalue namin. And kahit na meron kang sakit, kailangan mo talagang pumunta sa practice. And lahat naman kami excited, and lahat din kami willing to buy in dun sa system ni Coach Tim. And good thing dun is willing kami lahat na, and sabay-sabay kami lahat na natuto dun sa triangle. So medyo masaya dahil pag nagkakamali yung isa,
difficult to adjust to playing under a new system under Coach Tim?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not for Rafi.
No.
Rafi's been under so many systems. He doesn't even know the difference between them. He just goes out and plays.
Right. Well, being that I played under Coach Chot, which I think he was Coach Tim, and Coach Chot introduced a triangle for one of the teams I played for with Coke. So When Tim got to the team, it was an easy adjustment because I knew some of the triangle options, but some because there's a lot of options in the triangle. But I just thought there was a more like professional atmosphere when Coach Tim arrived, and practice was ran different. Everything, the whole organization just changed, and I thought everybody bought in, and everybody honed in and focused on defense, and that's what made us successful.
I don't know if we should ask Joe something. He looks busy right now.
No. No, I'm good.
But
guys.
to bring the squad along, Joe, you played an integral part, just like what PJ said, having already not just played for Coach Tim, but having won with him already back at Alaska. How hard was it to get everybody else on the same page with you?
It was
Sup, Joe?
it was a learning experience. And it was it's funny though, because not too many people know this, but there'll be times where me and Coach Tim would argue kind of behind the scenes, just because
we see it on the bench as well too.
Well, I don't want to say argue. He was really just trying to get my thinking process differently, right? And he would basically just tell me, control the things that I can control. So there'll be days where I was really, really frustrated because I didn't like how certain things were going and stuff like that. And honestly, that was a different way for me to buy in because I bought into the system already, right? I mean, since Alaska. So the buy-in for me was totally different type of process. And it took me a long time to buy into that. But, finally, when I bought into it, I think that's when we started to take off. So, but it was rough. I was frustrated a lot.
Well, it's tough when you're the only one that really knows it, and everybody else is screwing up all the time. It's a tough process. I mean, it's one thing if you're all screwed up together, but if one guy knows what everybody's supposed to be doing, and it can get very frustrating because you can't. We always say this about the triangle: one guy's screwing up, then everybody
messes up everything. Yeah.
So, all five guys got to be doing the right thing. And it's so dependent on each other. So, for Joe, he was one guy doing one thing and four guys doing the wrong thing. So it was very frustrating for him at times.
Yeah.
He just had to trust it and control what he could control, which was himself. He couldn't control his teammates. That's, I think, that's what you're saying, though.
That's exactly what the buy-in for me was. I had to just really control my thoughts and my feelings and stuff like that. So, but I mean, honestly, the guys on that team, all you guys that are here, I mean, that was really a special, just a special team. Everything that we accomplished and everything that we battled through was pretty cool. What, Zeke?
Of course, the Grand Slam was 3 championships, but we all know it started the year before with the Governor's Cup. Coach Tim, what was it about Marcus Blakely that made you decide he was the guy for the sanmigcoffeemixers?
Well, I saw Marcus first of all in the D League, in the NBA D League, and which is now the G League. But he was a D League at that time. I saw him in the showcase, and he was a guy that was really good, but kind of like out of control, but just super athletic. And I think that the height when I was trying to recruit was 6'4", if I remember correctly. And we were trying to recruit at 6'4", and we didn't think he would make it, even though he was listed 6'5", because most of the imports, you know, they listed 6'5", they come in at 6'3.5", 6'4". But one thing I always told Marcos, you're the only import I've ever recruited that said he was 6'5", and he was exactly 6'5". He was 6'4", and I think 13 over 16. I mean, he was right at 6'5". So I couldn't get him the first time, even though we wanted him the first time. I couldn't get him because the import was 6'4", not 6'5". And so when it became 6'5", we were able to call him and bring him in. And it was what Marcus brought to us. If you gave us positions, PJ would have played the point guard position, but he never really played point. But that was his position. James was really the off guard. And then Marcus was like the small forward. And then Joe would be the power forward. And then Ping would be the center. And then Rafi would go into that, and Mark would come off the bench. Alex would be the initiator. But that was the 5 guys that oftentimes started the game. So Marcus gave us that great versatility. He could play all 5 positions. And then Ping could defend all 5 positions. And then Joe was our primary ball handler. So even though PJ was our point guard, he didn't have to handle the ball. It was Joe who handled the ball. And yet Joe played defense on a big guy. Remember that, Joe? You'd play on a big, but yet you'd be our point guard on offense. He'd play center defensively and then play point guard offensively. And then Ping would guard the point guard, and PJ would guard the 2 guard. Remember, PJ, you would guard the 2 guard. And then James would guard the 3. And then Marcus would guard the 4, 5, or 3, whoever needed to do it. So it was that great versatility that Marcus brought to us that was, I mean, he was not a great scorer. He was definitely not a great shooter. But, man, he did everything else. And that's what I saw in him in the D-League. Someone, especially I thought that would be great for our team because we didn't need a scorer. Not with a guy like PJ and James and I know all those guys we had on our team. We didn't need scorers. We needed a guy who was going to defend, rebound, run the break, and be a tough guy for us. And Marcus was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Mago? Now, I have a question for Alain. Alain, yung pagdating mo sa San Mig Coffee, of course, you won a lot with them. But what was it like joining that team?
Nung nakuha ako dun sa San Mig, sobrang parang medyo pressured kasi they're already a proven team and also complete team na yun eh. When I joined them, sobrang kompleto na sila. So when I got there, Coach Tim talked to me and parang he really told me na parang I need to parang just play my game and parang ang naging role ko is come off the bench, maging energy and spark provider ng team.
You were coming off an ACL injury, right, Alain, at the time?
Yeah. Yes,
when
Coach.
we traded for you? So he was coming off a major injury, his second one, right? It was your second ACL?
When you first got me there, I'm already playing okay na. Then during my first 6 games, I was playing well. Then I got injured during the playoffs.
Right. And then you were out for a long time again.
Yeah, 2 conferences.
So yeah, it was the battle with Alain was just trying to keep him healthy and in the lineup. Because again, you know, you come into the triangle, and he had to come into the triangle with guys who were playing it at a pretty high level by that time. And then, you know, he starts to learn it. He starts to get comfortable. Then bang, he's injured again. Now he's starting from zero. And then by the time he comes back, we've already evolved the triangle to a higher level, and it's hard to get back into it again. So it was a real struggle for Elaine trying to catch up with everybody all the time. And I always felt really bad for him because we just didn't have enough time to really slow everybody down for him to catch up.
But Coach, of all your squads, everybody always talks about the triangle. Nobody really pays attention to the kind of defense you've been playing throughout the years. With this team, with guys like PJ, James, and even Alain, more known for their scoring, what kind of you talked about how you evolved the triangle with the squad. How about the defense that you guys play? How did you bring everybody else along, Coach?
I thought we had great commitment to defense. And I've always said this about, that team specifically. That team was, they talked a lot about the triangle, but more than anything else, it was a tremendous defensive team. We were great, and we were versatile. We would start with those 5 guys I mentioned, and then Justin and Mark and Alex would come off the bench, and we completely changed the defensive tempo. They'd get out and get on people's faces, and get into their shorts, and Alex with his great length, and then Justin and Mark with their great quickness and physicality. It was such a big change from the first group, and it really caught teams totally unbalanced. And that was really the secret to our success. It wasn't really the triangle as much as it was the versatility on defense, and then the second group coming out and really changing the defensive tempo. And I think that was a very, very underrated part of our game. And a lot of that, believe it or not, was the guy on my bottom of my screen, Richard. Richard was the idea of Justin and Mark and Alex, you guys want to know why you're coming off the bench? It's Richard's fault. It was his idea to change tempo, come in with a different defense, and change tempo all the time. So don't get mad at me. Blame Richard. It was his idea, and you guys did it so well that we lived with that, and that was a difference maker for us.
Because I've had a 6-year grudge.
Of course, Justin,
on me now you can throw that 6-year grudge on Richard.
Justin and Alex, you were the fresh additions to the squad heading into the 2014 season. Alex, we all know that you were selected high by the San Miguel beer franchise, but landing with a pure food squad with the San Mig Coffee Mixers, what changed for you? Did you feel that you had a different role that you had to play for the mixers?
Well, I didn't even really have a role in Patron. I was the last man on the bench. I was naive, to be honest, coming into the PBA. So even I don't know if you remember that Patron team, but they were stacked, but
they were loaded.
I didn't know loaded. I didn't know who anybody was. To be honest, even I was already in the D League for a year. I still didn't know. So but slowly I knew who they were. But and then when I went to San Mig, same thing. I was still trying to prove myself. Came in with an open mind and still didn't really know who anybody was. So I was just trying to prove my spot, trying to earn my spot, and man, it was fun.
How about you, Justin? Joining this San Mig Coffee team as a rookie, was it what you expected it to be, playing in the pros here in the Philippines?
Honestly, coming in, I had no real expectations. I was surprised I even got drafted, really, because prior to draft, I didn't really practice with teams. I didn't do any, my name wasn't kind of out there. But
you did come to one workout with us, though, Justin. Remember, you came to one workout with us, and that was why. Remember, Richard, we really turned on to Justin during that workout. And it was short. I think you were only there for 30 minutes or something like that. But you showed some incredible speed and talent at that time.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. Yeah, but coming on to the team, it was a tough transition because kind of like Elaine and Alex said, the team was established already. And also not knowing anybody and not knowing the style of play in the Philippines, it was a rough transition because you want to be out there on the floor, but then the guys who's already out there, they've earned that spot already. So it's finding that balance of trying to prove yourself, but also having respect and for the players that's been doing it way before you. Another thing that made it hard was I broke my finger the first game.
So
my first game, my rookie year, I broke my finger. So What was that, Ray? Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're there.
Oh yeah.
Go.
You can hear me, okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Broke your
Yes.
finger.
Okay. Yeah. No, I broke my finger first game of my rookie year. So, not being able to be on the court and learning the triangle as hard as it is, that kind of made it rough also. But the team was always very welcoming. Everybody was cool with everybody. So that part was it was as smooth as it can get. So.
Ogu?
Yeah, we had some real underrated chemistry on that team, and I think that's one of the reasons we were able to win big games all the time. When our backs were to the wall, our chemistry came together, and one of the big leaders in that was Rafi. Rafi was really strong in making sure our chemistry stayed where it was all the time.
All throughout that run for all three conferences of the Grand Slam, you guys always just managed to squeeze into the playoffs, be in the middle of the pack, be in those best of threes, not clinching any twice to beat advantages or anything. Was that all part of the grand scheme of just pacing yourselves? Because you guys just turned on the switch when it got playoff time. Didn't matter who you guys were playing. Or was it frustrating having to go through all of that instead of being on top?
Were you asking me? If you're asking me,
Yes,
I'm just going to try to remind everybody. I think we played 4 conferences. Those 4 conferences were played in a very short time, and we had no breaks between conferences. I mean, we really, literally went like you guys remember? It's like we had 3 days off, 4 days off when we started again, and we started every conference slow because we were, kind of battling that championship hangover every time. And it took us a while to get our sea legs going, and we were able to get back into it during right towards the end of the eliminations. We started to playing well all the time, and I thought that it was just it wasn't something we were designing, but it was something necessary that we had to go through conference to conference to get to where we were. And I think we were 9-0 in knockout games during that Grand Slam year. We won nine games. I mean, any one of those games we lost, we don't win the game. We don't win the Grand Slam, but we won all 9 of our knockout games, which is, to me, an incredible tribute to the chemistry and the perseverance of these guys. Amazing.
And the first 4 of those, Coach Tim, came in the Philippine Cup. You had a bad start to that campaign. You had to win your last 4 games just to get into the playoffs, and then eventually you take down TNT with markbarroca as the finals MVP. What's your favorite memory of that Philippine Cup?
I just said Talking Tex was undefeated or something like that all the way through, and then we stole it from him. I thought that was kind of cool.
I think that was Rain or Shine, coach, in the Philippine Cup.
Rain or Shine, yeah.
That was Rain or Shine. Okay, Talking Tex was the next conference.
Yep.
Where they went undefeated. Second conference, they went undefeated, and all the way to the finals, and then we beat them in the game 1 of the finals, I believe it was, and then we beat them, I don't know, 3 games to 1 or something like that. Best of 5 or best of 7, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was best of 5.
Yeah. Well, we were battling Rain or Shine a lot during that Grand Slam year. We seemed like we were playing them all the time, and we really got to know them well. And I think the more you played Rain or Shine back then, the better you played against them, the less intimidated you got by them, because you were kind of used to their physicality after a while. So the fact that we did play them a lot was kind of to our advantage, I think. They were a great team.
What I remember from that final series was actually a shootout between markbarroca and Bo Belga. I think one of those latter games, Mark, that turned out to be your coming out party, no? Yun yung pinakamagandang one of your best performances in the finals. Can you walk us through kung ano yung nangyari doon sa Philippine Cup Finals na yun? But ang taas ng kumpiyansa mo?
Siguro yung time na kasi parang struggle ako noon eh. Throughout the parang semifinals, quarterfinals. Tapos nung time na parang nung time na naalala ko parang si PJ yung magandang laro nun eh. Yung series na yun eh. So, consistent si PJ nun. Tapos, nung time lang nung game, parang game 6, yun nga, parang sila lahat eh. Parang off lahat eh. So, parang walang pupuntahan yung bawat isa. So, ako, role player pa naman ako nun eh. Naghihintay lang naman ako yung chance ko. Siguro yung time na yun, nung time na parang binless na ako ni Lord na binigyan ako ng chance na ma-prove ko rin sarili ko na gumanda yung laro ko. Yung time lang siguro. So yung time na parang hindi ko nga alam eh. Kinukuha ko na pala yung bola kanila James. Parang wala na akong parang yung mentality ko parang naging scorer na din eh. So yun siguro yun lang yung time. So dun na parang na-prove ko yung sarili ko na siguro meron din akong part sa team namin. Kaya nanalo kami dun. So, yun, na-bless. Champion kami. Tapos nakuha ko yung finals MVP. Yun yan. Yun yung parang tumas yung moral ko ng basketball.
Was that the game you became Coffee Prince?
No. Hotdog
Oh,
Prince.
okay. my bad.
Rafi, I have a question for Rafi. Coach Timcone already said that Marcos plugged in a lot of holes defensively for you because he could guard the 1 to the 5 position. How difficult was it to adjust for you in terms of just playing, defense in that Philippine Cup with no import to help you out?
Not at all. I love defense. Like I never have a hard time adjusting when it comes to that aspect of the game. Although, I mean, Coach would have us, we did a lot of switching then. And that was fun. It was challenging. It was fun. And it worked. So I just say it was just fun. It was a challenge. It was fun when it came to the switching. But adjusting, I don't think I had to adjust so much.
So we welcome to the broadcast markpingris.
Hi, sorry.
Speaking of defense, hey Ping.
Hi Coach, how are you? Nag-workout ako eh, sorry.
You just put that in your background.
Sorry, I'm late. Thank you, Reina, Ma'am Rain. Thank you so much. Tinext mo ako. Thank you.
Mark, natanong na namin lahat kanina when Coach Timcone joined, what was the experience like? Kumusta yung adjustments, learning the triangle system for you?
Oh, first week, sobrang hirap. Hindi ko maintindihan. Coach Tim know this, na talagang hindi ko maintindihan triangle. And he promised naman na basta gawin lang namin yung pinapagawa niya and then kami naman yung mag-harvest sa huli. So, sobrang hirap, but nung nakuha namin na yung rhythm namin, nakuha na namin yung timing namin, sobrang dali. Sobrang alam namin kung ano yung ginagawa namin sa isa't isa, alam mo kung sino yung rebound, timing lahat, parang ganun. So, mahirap sa umpisa, madali sa sa huli. So, sobrang sarap balikan ng triangle.
Pero tinitignan ko dito yung mga nakatutok sa atin live ngayon on Facebook. Malipat lang tayo mula sa pagkwento, commercial lang muna. Si Era Makinano kasi pinapatanong, ask ko lang kay Coach Tim and Coach Chard, kamusta naman po si Mang June at Mang Maning? How would you describe them? Lalo ikaw, Chard, paborito mo si Ningma. Apat mo yun, di ba, Chard?
Oo naman, no. Si Maning tsaka si Boy Sukat. Mang June, talagang I mean, they're a big part ng success of the team. Lalo na yan, siyempre sila Maning. Nagamasahin ng mga player yan, binibitbit ng mga player kung saan after practice. Tsaka lahat kailangan serbisyohan yan. Tapos sila Mang June yan, siya rin ang bibili ng mga merienda, lahat ng mga players. So lagi hinahanap yan, pinapagalitan lang kasi ang daming binibiling pagkain yan, merienda yan ng mga players every morning. So malaking bagay sila. Kaya nga napamahal rin sila doon sa mga fans rin ng Sanmig Coffee at that time, no? Kasi talagang meron sila sarili personality. Tsaka, nakikita sila ng mga fans doon sa pagka nakakahalubilo nila yung mga players. So, malaking bagay yung dalawang yan. Hindi lang sila, lahat ng support staff ng Sanmig.
Si Boy Sukat, of course, nagkaroon sila ng moment ni markpingris in that one really hard-fought game na kala ko atakin sa puso. I thought you were gonna have a heart attack, Coach TimCone, because of that technical foul back then.
It's a crucial game.
Yeah, it was a crucial game, and I think at the moment you kind of get mad at it, but you realize that one of the great things about our staff is that they were into every play, they were into every moment, and I think it takes a staff like that to do what we were able to do, and it's again at the moment it's upsetting, but it's totally forgivable. When it's all said and done, whether we had won or lost, I think we won that game, so it would have made it easier. But whether we won or lost, like I said, they're just showing their love for the team and how intent they are in the game. So you kind of forgive it and let it go.
May untold story dyan May untold story. Magu, kay Boy Sukat. When that game happened, so of course halftime, he was sent. Actually, hindi dapat siya nasa bench noon but may nag-CR lang na isang utility staff. So siya pumalit kasi siya tagabantay ng dugout. But so at that time, at that point, siya nandun. So nung nangyari when that happened,
he made it count, huh?
Yeah. So and then he was sent back to the dugout. He already wrote his resignation letter, apologizing. he wrote a resignation letter, and he was praying that we would win. Buti na lang, we won that game. Buti na lang, we won that game. So he kept his job.
Ping, para lang malinaw, nakatapak ka ba talaga sa line or tama yung sukat niya?
No, hindi ako nakatapak. Hindi ko tinanggal yun pa ako, promise. Kaya siguro, nung kinausap ko si Jun that time, ang sabi niya, nabigla ako kasi tama ka kaya tumalon agad siya. Parang sorry sa akin. Sabi niya, Ping, sorry dahil nabigla ako. Nakita ko talaga hindi ka rin nakakapak. So, it's okay, part of the, di ba? The game. Hindi ka mag-sorry dapat sa akin, mag-sorry ka kay coach.
Pero Ping, si Maning naman, gaano ka-inspiring na every time bababa kayo sa court, makikita mo nakatayo yun, sigaw na sigaw ng defense, gumaganon-ganon yung kamay. Parang literally sixth man on defense nyo siya, di ba?
Yeah. Kumbaga, you know what? Nagbibigay din ng energy si Maning. Sobrang grabe rin yung mga ballboy namin, lahat naman sila karamihan. Minsan niloloko namin siya kaya natatalo tayo dahil hindi ka nagdi-defense. So alam mo ang sagot niya sa akin, pinagalitan daw siya ni commissioner habang gumagano. Sabihan daw siya kasi parang player daw. So nakakatuwa sila. Kahit minsan hindi naman natin masabi sometimes down ka sa laro pero pag nakikita mo siya parang mapapalaban ka rin.
Ma'am Rins, you were there from the start with the squad. When did you feel na tumataas na yung kumpiyansa? This team is turning out to be something very, very special. When did you notice that?
Hindi ko na siya na-notice. Parang, for me, it all, parang yung process na kasi parang natural na yung nangyayari natin. So, nararamdaman yung ganun yung kakaroon na sila ng kumpiyansa or ito na, raratsada na. Pero iba yung feeling. Iba kapag talagang more than 100%. Or yun yung nag-feel every game. Pero na general level. Ito na.
Look.
Talagang one game at a time. Probably because yun din yung
Justin, Rafi is in the States. Rafi's in Florida.
Joe, that was a tough finals matchup against TNT because they did not lose a game. before you met up with them in Game 1 of the finals. Can you walk us through what happened there?
Is this the series where we won it in Ultra?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Oh yeah. That was that was
and
crazy.
just your run. And just your run into the playoffs. You came in at 4-5 as the 6th seed. You go to distance with Alaska, you win 2-1. You go to distance with Air 21, 3-2. And then you run into a team that was undefeated in that finals, and you took Game 1.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, I don't like we were talking about earlier, you know, we always struggled at the start of the conference and and we picked it up towards the end. And it was just one of those things where I remember me and Rafi always saying, like, going into the playoffs, we're like, oh shoot, man, we in trouble. We in trouble. You know, and even with Melton, right? Like, oh man, we in trouble. We in trouble. And then and this was every series, every conference, you know, and for whatever reason, when it was time to go, we showed up. So it was no difference against Talking Text. You know, it was like, oh shoot, man, we in trouble. And then we got that Game 1, I think, and then after that, it was like, oh, we're good.
I remember going to that series saying that, you know, if we could just get Game 1, because they had no, you know, really any problems the whole conference. And if we could get that Game 1, then we could show them some adversity and make them uncomfortable. And they really kind of
see how they are. Yeah. See how they
so
react.
when we won that Game 1, they were so shocked by it. They didn't know how to recover. They hadn't lost the whole conference. So
Yeah.
I thought that was the key, was we had to get that Game 1. We had to get that Game 1. And we really showed up in that Game 1.
PJ, they had the best player of the conference in Jason Castro. Sa kanila rin yung best import of the conference, Richard Howell. Kayo naman, kumusta yung kumpiyansa nyo heading into that finals matchup against TNT?
Yun nga, yung nakuha namin yung Game 1 nung time na yun, siyempre, malaking bagay yun sa kumpiyansa namin dahil siyempre naniniwala kami na kaya namin sila. And yun, pang going for our 3 finals na yun eh. So parang sobrang kumpiyansa kami sa isa't isa na pagdating sa series, talagang parang feeling namin kaya namin manalo talaga kahit sino yung kalaban ng time na yun. Kasi sobrang solid na samahan yung chemistry. And parang yung nagko-contribute talaga sa amin, hindi lang dalawa eh. Kumbaga, minsan, yung nag-double figure, minsan mga 7 kami or 8. So, lahat talaga nagko-contribute.
Go.
That was one thing about PJ, man. PJ didn't fear anybody. I never saw PJ ever fear a team. He just came out and just played. And didn't matter who was in front of him. He was going to play his game no matter what. And that was one of the things I thought that was key for us in terms of our confidence. PJ would show up every game. And there were times when he was just really our most unstoppable player all the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Of course,
So you go on
I lie a lot.
and then you end up going on. You go on and beat TNT 3-1, 3rd consecutive championship, but just the 2nd piece in your Grand Slam. Yung fatigue ba, Coach Chard and Coach Tim, were you worried about how tired this team was, the number of games? And back in those days, as Coach Tim already mentioned, you didn't get the extra 2 weeks, extra 3 weeks that champions now get, or in the recent past of the PBA that you get an extra 2 weeks or 3 weeks after a finals or a championship. How about that fatigue factor heading into the next conference?
Yeah, as the season went on, yeah, talagang it would be a concern, but we weren't really that worried because winning takes away all the fatigue. Eh. Whenever you win championships, it takes away all the fatigue, and you want to just start again. I remember, again, we won the championship on a Friday, and then we had to play our first game of the next conference on a Wednesday. Ganun ka-ikse. So we only had a weekend off. Saturday and Sunday, and then practice ulit kami ng Monday. But again, because we had the players, they knew their roles. Start of the season, we would really depend on the imports to carry us. sila James Mays, sila Marcos. And even while, as I mentioned, nakwento na natin before, even while the conference was ongoing and we were in the finals, our second group and third group would already be practicing with the import that was already here. So, I mean, it was really, a lot of sacrifice for everybody. And as much as we relied on yung first unit, yung second unit namin, when it came sila Melt, sila Rafi, sila Alex, those minutes that they gave to that effort to win all those championships, I felt was crucial for us to be able to sustain yung run as long as it lasted.
Alex, did you
Tinapos
feel...
nyo yung elimination round. Tinapos nyo yung elimination round 5-4, 1 game improvement from the previous one. Pero this time around, may twice to beat kayo. As the 4th seed, twice to beat kayo na San Miguel, you cruised past them 97-90. And then you met TNT again in the next round. This one going the distance. Yung familiarity, Coach Tim was talking about how much you guys played rain or shine in that run. You were also playing TNT in that run, and they were still pretty good at that time. Yung familiarity with TNT ba, sumipa rin dun sa series na yun? Chard?
Yeah, I mean, I think every time, especially when our backs were against the wall, yung mga do or die games, because of the experience that we had and all the adversity, a lot of times also, I mean, some mga series, we would, like in the best of 3 series, we would lose game 1. So we had that twice to win disadvantage na, but we would still pull it off. And yung mga players, once they get yung focus nila, I mean that, it's a do or die game. They just pull for each other. Ang maganda rin kasi sa team na yan, they weren't afraid or shy to call each other out. Pagka halimbawa may nakikita silang one guy would be playing relaxed masyado, because they were so close. Pwede na sabihan yung isa't isa. And then when one guy was struggling, one guy would pull him and then tulungan siya sa practice pa lang. So I mean, those things I think contributed, especially in those tough series against TNT, against Rain or Shine, and I felt, even sa dugout namin nun, hindi naman sa pagyayabang, but you already had a feeling na, may confidence that you would really win that particular game, even though it was a do or die game. That everybody was just in a different level, so to speak. And I think other teams, whether they would admit it or not, I feel talagang going into mga especially do or die games, meron ng doubt sa mind nila na matatalo nila yung team na yun. And I that really made that team very special.
Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, si Ping yung captain nyo that year. Was it ikaw ba yung in charge, like what Coach Richard was saying, na you have to call people out, or was it all the veterans like sina Rafi and all that? Kayo ba yung in charge na magpulis sa team nyo? Ping?
I mean, lahat naman kami, hindi
Joe.
lang si Rafi and me, pero kasi ang sinabi kasi ni Coach sa amin, lahat naman kasi kami sa team pwedeng maging leader sa loob eh. So, alam namin yun alam namin gampanan yun mga papel namin. So, lahat naman kami nakikinig sa isa't isa. And then pag may tinawag si Rafi or ako or yung iba, kahit sila Mark, ang maganda sa team talaga is willing kaming makinig sa isa't isa. Yun yung sikreto talaga. Kasi yun ang sinasabi ni Coach eh. Lahat kayo pantay-pantay, lahat kayo leader sa team. So, yun.
May kwento rin ako yung kay Ping, na nakwento ko na rin before. Si James, there was a time na really was struggling with his shooting. Talagang nasa slump si James. Talagang, and yung fans, talagang tinitira na si James na laos na raw or whatever. And then si Ping, sinabihan si James, tara, punta ka sa practice maaga bukas. Mag-extra shooting ka lang. Ikaw lang tumira, ako taga-rebound lang para sa'yo. So si Ping, nandun lang, mag-shooting si James, siya yung magre-rebound, babalik ng bola kay so yun, I mean, those are mga things na ginagawa nila. Taga-rebound to si Ping, tapos yun, si James hanggang sa nakuha niya ulit yung kumpiyansa niya. Iba rin, syempre, pag yung teammate mo mismo, iba yung boses ng coach, iba yung boses ng teammate eh. Na, sila yung magpupush sa'yo eh.
Tama. Kasi kami lang yung magtutulungan eh. Like, yung ginagawa namin ni joedevance, we play one-on-one pag maaga kami. So nakakatulong yun eh. Nakakatulong sa team. We play kumbaga one-on-one defense talaga. So kumbaga confident yun sa sarili mo. So nung nakita ko si James na sobrang down, katulad nga na sinabi ni coach, tinutulungan ko. Ganun. Kahit naman sino sana nagtutulungan kami.
Alex, Coach Richard already said that the bench, the second unit, even the third unit, is very important to your success. Did you feel that in the early parts of the elimination round, you had a bigger responsibility, a bigger role to the squad with James and PJ and your main guys, starting slow at the start of the conference?
Yeah. I mean, the job of the second unit, right, is to like not give up the lead, and I think coach really instilled that into us really in early. I mean, it should already be something like in your mind already, but like he really harped on it, and I think me, Justin, the second unit just bought into it. We played off each other really well, which also helped. I think we just had a natural. Maybe not natural. Probably maybe it took a little bit for us to get to know each other and our tendencies, but like I think for me, I thought we picked it up pretty good, and that's what made us dangerous. But yeah, like I swear, like anytime we would give up the lead sometimes, and every time we gave up the lead, I'm like, yeah, we're about to hear from coach. We got to pick it up. So yeah, that's how that went for me.
But it seemed like you had good chemistry with justinmelton, because you had one of the best, highlights of that entire run. Can you walk us through that, Justin? That one play that shocked everyone.
Oh, you're talking about that dunk, the alley-oop, bro?
Yep, from Alex.
First of all, he does that shit in practice all the time. I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, because me and Alex, we'd always talk about it, and I said, anytime the opportunity presents itself, man, just throw it up. And I think it was maybe like 30 seconds left on the clock. And yeah, he pushed. I think Mark gave him a pass, or JR Kowalling, I think it was. Kowalling gave Alex the pass, and Alex just kind of threw it up there. And yeah, it's a nice feeling, man. It's cool.
I don't think there was quotient back then, and we were up at like 20. So I think we probably like stuck it to Patron pretty good. Probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, say sorry 6 years after. Alex.
Sorry.
Well, there was more than one though with Justin. When Mark and Alex and Justin played, they were 3-point guards together. So they were pressure guys in the backcourt. They were all ball handlers, and they were a lot of fun to watch those three guys play together. The energy that they came with and the tenacity that they came with, the three of them blended really, really well. It didn't matter whether Rafi was on the court or Bing or Joe or whoever was playing the big men with them, but those three guys together, they literally changed the game every time they came out on the floor. And again, I got to give Richard the credit. He was the one that kept saying, let's develop that second group to come out and be a different type, because PJ and James, sorry PJ, but PJ and James were not going to be pressure fighters. They weren't going to get out there and spend their time pressuring in the backcourt, doing that kind of stuff. That wasn't in their DNA. But for Alex and Mark and Justin, those guys came out and just changed the game totally and gave us a completely different look through the whole second quarter that we had from the first quarter.
True.
And it was really hard for teams to adjust. It was really hard for teams to adjust.
It's hard when you're hungry. Like people had to match our energy, man. We were just hungry. There's no other way to put it.
You guys wanted to play.
Yep.
You guys wanted the playing time.
Yes.
And you knew it was your time. So you were pumped and ready to go.
Coach Tim, just going quickly back to that TNT series, you posted your guards a lot against their guards, and it was very effective in that championship run. What made you decide to go to that route, Coach?
Well, I think that again, that first group that we had, PJ was being guarded by the point guard. Remember, the point guard was all the time, and so it was really an intent to get PJ down the post. PJ could post anybody down there at the block, and that was one part of the game I think that was really underrated about PJ. Everybody talks about his drives and his pull-ups and his one-handed floaters and stuff like that, but I thought the strongest part of PJ's offense was his post-up, and because he was, like I said, the point guard in our lineup, we defined our guys mostly by who guarded us. So the point guard always guarded PJ because they didn't want to put him on James because he was usually too small, and James was never a ball handler, and they couldn't put him on Joe or Ping or Marcus. So the point guard always had to go to PJ. So that was one of our biggest weapons, I thought, throughout the whole Grand Slam. And I think that we went to it extra in that Talk and Text series because it was such a huge advantage for us. And if they put the point guard, and what happened is that they got tired of PJ beating him up. So they said, let's put him on James. So then, James would go down there and post him up. And the other great post-up player we had was probably next to PJ, our best post-up player, big, smalls, anybody, was markbarroca. Mark was a tremendous post-up player. He loved to get down there in the block and pound the little point guards.
Mark, how does it feel yung ganong klaseng kumpiyansa yung coach mo bibigay sa yung bola at the post? Gano'n ka-importante yun sa'yo?
Siyempre, as a player, di ba, i-earn mo yung spot na yun. Kasi sabi nga nila, di ba, yung mga sila Justin, sila Alex, yung bago sila pumunta sila Alain, na sabi na loaded na yung team eh. May mga pangalan na eh. So, i-earn mo yung spot na yun na parang gusto ko, papunta ako dito sa spot na to, gusto kong kumuha ng score. Kasi nga, yun yung parang advantage nga, sabi ni Coach sa triangle. Yun yung natutunan sa triangle eh. Anybody makaka-post up sa baba eh. Kung may mga mismatch, pwede kang sumil doon kasi open na open. One-on-one kayo doon. Kasi sobrang yung spacing ng bawat isa, sobrang laki ng space na parang ang hirap dumobol pag nandun ka sa baba. So yun yung time na parang nagpa-practice ako kasi struggle ako nung triangle eh. So tinuturuan ako dati eh. Alam ko pa dati, tinuturuan ako ni Coach Jeff, tapos si Coach Johnny, lagi ni-remind ako lagi na ito, pwede ka dito mag-post pag may mismatch ka. Laging pinupost nila ako doon eh. So nung time na siguro nung second year ko na. So minsan si Ping lagi akong niloloko eh. Tatanggal mo pa ako ng trabaho. Tatanggalin mo pa ako ng trabaho na mag-post up ka, dapat doon sa labas. So yung time na parang nakukuha ko yung confidence doon na lagi nga sabi ni Ping one-on-one sa practice. Kami na Justin, Alex, one-on-one kami before mag-practice. Minsan nga si Coach Tim, pinapagalitan na nga kami. Tinatago yung bola kasi sobrang na kami. Before and after, one-on-one pa rin. Pinapatago ni Coach Tim, pinapauwi na kami. Sobrang excited na about isa maglaro. Kasi nga, di ba, yung run namin ng Grand Slam.
We had a great post-up player that was really reluctant to post up. And I think the biggest battles I had were with him, trying to get him to post up and go to work all the time. And he was so reluctant to do it. And that was, of course, Ping. He and I, you remember Ping, how many times I yelled at you? That, Ping, you got to take it, do it, take it, go for it. And because he was such a reluctant post-up player. He was so great there, but he was really reluctant. But he was also a great passer. So he ended up passing out most of the time. But the same thing went with Joe. Joe also was a great passer from the post, and we had to beg Joe to get down in there and score in the post as well. But we never had to beg PJ. We never had to beg Mark. Our little guys, they love to get down in there. And that's what the triangle called for. Triangle gave you the opportunity to post your point guards or post any guard. And that's why, Michael Jordan and Kobe would go to the post all the time in the triangle. And eventually Alex would post down in there, and Alain would do a lot of post up later on. And But we were always posting up our guards. That's just part of the triangle offense.
Speaking of posting up, Coach, one of the best, arguably the best to ever do it, Cap Alvin Patrimonio. Oh, we just lost him again too.
Yep,
He
he
just
joined
joined us.
Oh, wait.
Hopefully he can be back in a minute. Looks like he was driving though. How big of a help was it to have somebody like Captain Lionheart as your team manager, Coach?
Well, you will not meet a nicer person than Alvin Patrimonio. I mean, he is. You know, when before I came to Pure Foods, I used to think that he was so fake. I really did. I go, nobody can be that nice. Nobody. I mean, he has to be fake. And then when I got there, I realized it was pure genuine, and I just amazed me about Cap. You know, being a 4-time MVP and being so humble and so nice, and he's a credible guy. And is he on yet?
Not
No,
yet.
good.
Coach.
So I can still talk about him now. But no, he was really special in terms of just being a really great guy. I kept telling him that I needed him to coach our guys more. You know, he was the best player. You know, between him and Mon Fernandez, I think they were the two best players. And of course, June Marnell, the two best players probably ever played in the PBA. And we had that, you know, and he was probably right up there with Jumar as the best post-up player of all time. You guys didn't get a chance to see him play as much, but man, he was unbelievable in the post, Alvin Patrimonio. And so I was always begging him to go and get some guys and work with them, you know, at the post. But he was very reluctant because he didn't think that was his role. He didn't want to step on the toes of his assistant coaches. But he was a great guy to have around. Super. Walang mayabang. Right, Rita?
Yes.
She knows him better than anybody. She worked with him every day.
Yeah. When you work with Cap kasi parang it's always easy because madali siyang i-approach. And he doesn't have that parang superiority complex because he's the captain. He's so easy to talk to kasi.
How about Coach Richard? How was it working with your fellow assistant coaches? That was a loaded, you know, squad as well, from Coach Johnny A, Coach Olsen, Coach Jeffrey Carriazo. How good did that team work?
J-Web.
Coach Tim? Yeah, with Coach Jason as well.
Yeah, si Jason came in late during dun sa so Grand Slam, but you know, yung initial cast,
third conference.
out of place ako because you all had mga future Hall of Famers, diba? Like Johnny A, Jeff Carriazo, you know, and of course si Olsen nandyan, Olsen Racela, grabe, di ba yung lineup na yon. So I mean, it was just intimidating just to be part of it. So yeah, kailangan every time you speak, kailangan you would make sense. And I was learning as much as I was part of the coaching staff trying to help and teach, but I was learning from all these guys as well. Because nga yung mga achievements in their careers and you know how they can play the game. You know, I can just say do this, but I can't demonstrate.
Richard is being extremely humble, right?
No, I mean it's really it was really intimidating, especially at that point, at that time of my coaching career. I was really just trying to learn as much, starting from Coach Tim, and you know, and yun, I was bago pumasok Coach Tim, I was late rin naman ako kasi sa coaching staff. See, the Coach George got me in, and I was yung pinaka-last na na-add sa coaching staff na yon. And then when Coach Tim arrived, yun, nagkaroon ng reshuffle. But again, you know, it was just an honor to be part of that staff.
We lost Jeffrey right in the middle of the third conference. Was it the third conference, or just towards the beginning of the third conference, or was it second conference?
After you won the Commissioner's Cup, Coach.
Yeah, that's right. I remember we lost him right in the middle of the game, right at the end of the game. I got a call in the locker room that told me that Jeffrey was being moved to Ginebra. And the other guy we lost also at that time was Yancy Del Campo. We lost Yancy. We traded him away, so he never got a chance to finished off that third conference. I always felt bad about that, but you know, Jeff and Yancey didn't get a chance to, and Olsen didn't get a chance to finish off that Grand Slam with us.
Alain. Kuya Alain.
Yeah.
May question ako. After you won the championship against TNT, heading into the third conference, naramdaman mo ba yung kumpiyansa ng team? Or did you guys talk about achieving the Grand Slam? Was it a part of your, you know, daily conversation as a unit, as a team nun?
Syempre, no, we're as a team, talagang parang usapan na yun eh, matunog na we're going for the Grand Slam, and it's really put up so much pressure sa bawat isa, but the confidence is there because of the chemistry nga, katulad ng sabi ni Coach Tim, and I was really confident about them kasi doon ko nakita yung definition ng team, and even the other players sa ibang team sinasabi sa akin, even Jason Castro nasasabi sa akin ni Kuya Jason, ito yung San Mig Coffee, yung definition ng team, buong-buo yung team. As in, from starting five to bench, kahit sa third group, kahit sino na ipasok mo, alam yung gagawin, and we know yung roles ng bawat isa. And also, yung mga coaches, sobrang they make it easy for us na maka-adjust sa mga, especially on game, ganyan. Talaga yung kahit sila Coach Olsen, Coach Charles, Coach Johnny, and Coach Jeff noon, naalala ko, pag may mga nakikita sila, lalapitan kagad nila yung mga players every time may isa-sub, ganyan. And also, Coach Tim, iba yung mentality ni Coach Tim na binibigay sa amin. Parang sineset niya yung mind namin na this the most important game na we need to get. And also, parang sasabihin niya, mahirap. Pero dahil because of his parang mental preparation sa amin, it make us na parang maging parang on our toes palagi, na parang you need to prepare hard because it's gonna be hard, parang ganun. So parang ako, I was not wala akong doubt na makukuha namin yung Grand Slam. And also yun yung first time ko na makalaro ng championship dun sa apat eh. So it was really parang sobrang special for me.
May tanong rin ako kay Alain. Kasi nabasa ko lang that on June 7, barber shops will be open. So are you going to go out and
Charles, hindi ka host.
June 7, paninindigan mo na ba yan?
Hingi akong voucher kay Coach Tim ko, Coach Charles. Sa Tony and Gay ako magpapagupit.
Parang naisip Bruce Lee na.
I got some new clippers. I got new clippers right here, guys. I can try them out.
Mine's still on China.
Parang si Bruce Lee.
You guys could be my first clients.
I can go there in your house, Joe.
Who said Bruce Lee, bro?
Look at that. Whoa, do it again, Alex.
Alex. You and Alex. Everybody.
What? Do it again, Alex.
Everybody meet.
Let me see it again.
June 7. Everybody meet up in Tony and Guy, June 7.
Just heading quickly into that third conference, you battled against Rainer Shine with Arizona Reed. How difficult was it, knowing that team so well after facing off against them in the Philippine Cup as well? They're rough, they're rugged, they're a really good team. How difficult were they as a challenge to complete the Grand Slam, Rafi?
Can you repeat that question?
Yep, Cap, how difficult was it going up against Rainer Shine during that third conference just to complete the Grand Slam?
Rainer Shine was always tough. Like that, they were probably one of the toughest groups that we would face, and it's almost like we had to play mind games against those guys because their thing was just to out physical or be more physical than the other teams, borderline dirty. And they always gave us a run for our money. So it was very challenging, and I remember it got to the point that where we were so frustrated that Coach Tim would tell us, you know what, every time they hit you guys, just smile. So,
I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that. So we were trying to get Marcus to do that more than anybody.
Oh no,
Marcus would get so riled up.
Yeah, it was just really hard for Marcus, because how passionate he is, and but it worked. It really worked, and it just got us to stay focused on the task at hand, which was, trying to win that championship. So, yeah, we just smiled so they didn't, get us off our game or get us rattled with, all the cheap shots that they were trying to do.
Mago?
Just to follow it up, si Ping nakasama niya sa Gilas just before that season. Polly and Bo Belga as your reserve sa Gilas. Nakatulong ba to yung familiarity nyo nga dahil yung sa mind games na ginagawa sa inyo ng Rain or Shine? Mas na may inside information ka doon sa dalawang yon dahil nakasama mo?
Sakto lang. Kasi iba kasi yun kumbaga yung team na nila. Kasi sa Gilas, Paul and Bo, parang hindi sila ganun Kasi iba si Coach Tim, pag tinigawan kanya talagang binibigay mo yung best mo or kailangan tapangan mo sa laro, di ba? So, pero alam mo, nakakatulong talaga sa amin. Alam ni joedevance. Talagang ini-scout namin sila pag nag-ayos kami. Every game, ini-scout namin yung mga binabantayan namin. Actually, yung mga play nila, pinapanood namin sa bahay-bahay. So, yun yung small things na nakakatulong sa amin.
Pero may comment din ako kay Coach Chard naman. Hindi ka ba nahihiya doon sa gun sniffing? Nakita natin sa background, nagbubuhat. Pakita mo rin yung dumbbell mo, Chard. Yung dumbbell mo dyan.
Hindi, kaka-push up ko lang eh. Sorry.
May dumbbell si Chard, yung ganyan kalaki.
Kailangan mag-workout.
Baka maging bodybuilder ka din yung Ping, ha?
Hindi, tumatakbo naman ako. Hindi kasi wala talagang siguro ito na ako. Kumbaga, pag walang workout, parang nanginginig yung katawan ko eh. So, every day workout, ganun. Pero balance naman, legs and upper, and then takbo, ganun.
Barox, may naalala ko nung Game 5 nung Rain or Shine series. Parang mag-free throw ka, pang sigurado na. Ano yung nangyari doon?
Ba yun? Yung parang, siyempre, parang takot ka na eh. Yung, alam mo yung moment na gano'n na parang first time mo mapunta sa line na yun na ganong moment na para ma-secure mo yung crown namin. Parang, alam mo yun, parang siyempre may halong ka ba, gano'n. Pero siyempre, yung paano namin is shoot mo lang talaga yung focus ko doon. I-shoot mo talaga. Kahit ma-shoot yung isa, wala na. Basta makashoot, at least makasafe na kami. Pero grabe yung paano yun. Grabe yung nangyari nun. Yung pagka yung tira ni Paul sa gilid, sobrang nakakaba yun eh. Akala ko mag-overtime pa eh.
Dalawang beses yung open yun, di ba? Dalawang beses na open.
Oh,
si Jeff Chen.
Si Polly and Arizona. Sa Jeff Chen pa. Jeff Chen. Mali, coach, mali. Memory block na.
Well, the last shot of them from Rain or Shine was courtesy of Arizona Reed. PJ, nung nakita mong tumalbog sa ring.
Was Jeff Chen and Paul Lee. They had two wide open looks. Then Arizona missed the last one. They had 3 shots in that last possession.
PJ, nung nakita mong tumalbog sa ring yung tira ni Arizona Reed na kayo na yung Grand Slam champion, what was the first feeling na pumasok sa'yo?
Who are you asking?
PJ?
PJ.
Yung time na yun, nasa bench kasi ako nung tumira si Arizona. Medyo diretso yung tira niya eh. Kaya parang hindi ka pa makahinga. So, nung nakita ko na tumalbog yung bola, ayun, kami lahat dun sa bench talagang pumasok kami dun sa loob. Kasi yun na yung pang Grand Slam eh. Kaya yung feeling na yun parang hindi mo talaga ma-describe yung feeling na yun.
About Coach Tim, what did it feel like for you to win your second Grand Slam?
It was a relief for me. Championships are always a relief for me, just to finally get it over and to be done with it, and finally there's no more pressure, and I don't really feel the elation as much as I feel the relief. But the thing I remember about this team, and that people always ask me kind of what's the difference between the Grand Slam with the old Alaska team and the Grand Slam with this team. The old Alaska team in third conference, they just kind of breezed right through it. They went through a 13-game winning streak. They had a 3-0 lead in the finals, and then they lost one game, and then they won but it was just like a piece of cake, in the third conference. And they also won four straight championships. But this team, what they had to go through was to win each championship was just absolutely heart-wrenching every time. I mean, there was never, a feeling of, oh yeah, we got this one. Like Joe was saying, earlier, look who we got to play now. It was always that sense, and that perseverance and the character of having to win those kind of games every time. You were mentioned earlier in the second conference, we had to go the length with Alaska, and then the length with FedEx, and then go and play an undefeated team in Talkentex. I mean, the character that this team showed, and to go through all that we did was just, it's unheard of. I mean, to me, it was, in many ways more satisfying. What they say, the harder it is, the more satisfying it is. And for us, it was so hard every moment, every time. We were on the brink of not doing it. So that when we finally did it, it was so satisfying, but it was also a relief to have it all done, because we did have the pressure. The people were talking about it, and we weren't talking about it, but everybody around us was talking about it. So, the pressure was there. So it was just, I was just so happy for everyone.
John Maxwell got us through that.
And Alex still dreams about John Maxwell in his dreams.
Yeah, the Mount
so many
Everest.
videos of John Maxwell.
The Mount
He
Everest
became everybody's mentor.
Never slept though. Never slept.
Yeah, the Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Justin, how important was jerwingaco among all of this?
Gax was, well, honestly,
The last chance.
Gax was extremely important, man, because he always had that energy, that positivity. Like, if you needed like a boost, like Jerwin was that guy. So as far as just staying positive and pushing people, Gax was that dude. I know people they joke around about his playing time and stuff like that, but he was extremely important part of the team.
Yeah, let me just add dun sa kila Jerwin. I mean, those guys, Jerwin, Valacuña, tapos sila lesteralvarez, sila kenbono, guys that seldom play sa official games. They're the first ones in practice the next day. Sila yung talaga nag-extra work, they don't let those yung pag hindi sila nakalaro, yung sasama loob, walang pampabigat sa bench. No? They're the first guys in practice. And they're very proud. They're going to there are yung red team, they're the scouting team, and they take pride on what they do, and a lot of our success also it's because of what they did for us in practice. Dahil talagang pinahirapan nila yung mga players, sinarpen nila during those practices. So I mean, those guys are really a huge part nitong
it's if I may add, it's just really hard to coach a team when the 10th, 11th, and 12th players are unhappy, and they don't want to be there, and they're upset, and it's just really hard to coach a team. And if you can find a guy like Jerwin who's willing to be, play that role and be a part of that, and still have that energy, like Justin said, to come out and help guys out and stuff like that. That is so valuable, so underrated to a great team. And you cannot be a great team and if your 10th, 11th, and 12th guys are unhappy and don't care about things. If they're caring about things, then your chemistry is tight. If they're good, then your chemistry is good. So it's one of the ways I try to measure the chemistry in our team is observing the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th guy, the practice players, how they're handling themselves. And if they're doing well and they're happy and they're okay with their role, I mean, everybody wants to play. There's no doubt about it. You play basketball so you can play. But if they're willing to sacrifice and play that role, then you've got great chemistry. And if you have great chemistry, you have an opportunity to have a great team.
Well said, Coach Tim. Magu?
On the electric post blew up. They have no electricity. They have no internet right now. Hopefully everybody's safe there, him and his family, and hopefully it gets resolved.
Tough for James. It really was tough for James. My entrance to the team was tougher on him than anybody because I demanded so much sacrifice from him. And, if he had a different kind of personality, he could have totally wrecked us. Being the superstar that he was, he could have totally wrecked us if he wanted to be selfish about things. But he was so nice and malleable, and he was willing to sacrifice, and he got a lot of criticism, for his game, and didn't realize that he just wasn't going to get the same kind of touches and the same kind of attention that he would in an offense that was built around him. Very similar to what Jojo Lastimosa went through with Alaska when we brought the triangle into Alaska. The same thing Michael Jordan made, when they brought the triangle into the Chicago Bulls. So that sacrifice he made is just a really underrated part of our success. And he made an effort to get focused on defense. He was never a great defensive player. We all knew that, but he made the effort to try to be a great, a contributing defender. And that was important to what we did. And then, he was big game James. He won in two of the championship series. He won the MVP, and because he had big shots, big moments all throughout those championship series. So, he lived up to his reputation as being a big game James. When we really needed him, he really showed up and made big shots. But to me, I'll always remember him as the sacrifice he went through. And he was, we all know he was going through a lot of personal stuff during that year as well. A lot of personal stuff was going on, and he was going to court cases and stuff, and coming back to practice, having to go through that, and that had to be really, really hard. But to his credit, he battled through it, and I think we all recognized that what he was going through, and the great compassion on this team. They were, they understood it and let him go through it and supported him while he did it. And I think that was another special part of this group, the compassion that they showed all the time to each other.
Coach, before we end this reunion, Mark, explain mo naman sa amin kung ano yung display dyan sa likod mo, yung mga kamay na yan.
Yan yung bigay sa atin ng Grand Slam. Yan yun.
Nawala.
I think we lost Mark.
Wala internet, Mark.
That's right.
Tinanong mo pa kasi.
Everybody would lose Mark whenever we play games.
Internet yung kapitbahay.
Yung nagbayad yung kapitbahay.
Naputol si Mark.
While we wait for him, can I say something about Ian?
Of course, Coach.
Because Ian's not here. I just wanted to be able to say one thing about Ian. I thought, everybody gave us a hard time because we didn't defend any of our championships the next year following the Grand Slam. And I think a big, huge part of that was that we didn't have Ian anymore. And he got injured in the first game of the conference of the All-Filipino. 5-6 minutes into the game, he tore his ACL, and he was out that whole year. And Ian played a very underrated role during the Grand Slam. I mean, he made big shots, and as a rookie, he came in and was fearless. And I don't know. I just think that we don't talk, but no one ever talks about Ian. His game is kind of a quiet game. He just kind of a silent, kills you silently. And you guys remember when we went to Korea? You guys remember when we went to Korea after the Grand Slam year, and how well Ian played in the preseason? He was destroying the Korean teams. And everybody thought he was Korean. He thought he was a Korean import on our team, but he was destroying teams. And then so he was taking that next step up, and we really thinking he was going to be our star going into that second year, that post Grand Slam year. And then he tore his ACL, which was devastating to us all. And I thought that was the reason we weren't quite the team we were. We didn't develop like we should have into the next year. So I was hoping to keep that team intact and then come back with Ian in 2016. And I thought we were going to be competing for a lot of championships in 2016. But then the team got broken up.
Of course,
that was our last dance.
Welcome to 2OT, jerwingaco.
I was about to say, you lost Ian, but you still had jerwingaco there.
People didn't understand. Ian was a special talent. He was a special talent coming into the league.
Guys, before we end this broadcast, I just want to go around the room one last time to ask, what did this team mean to you? PJ, we all know that you're about to finish up sa iyong PBA playing career. Ano yung mga pinakamatatandaan mo tungkol doon sa Grand Slam team nyo?
Ito yung pinaka-highlight ng career ko, and sobrang thankful ako unang-una kay Coach Tim dahil Coach Tim allowing me to believe that I can play defense kasi dati talagang more of offense. So, yun yung talagang biggest confidence na binigay sa akin ni Coach Tim, yung to play defense doon sa mga best two guards in the league. So, sobrang thankful ako doon. And doon sa mga teammates ko na sobrang unselfish, si joedevance always give me brush screen, si markbarroca always give me post up pag medyo nawawala yung kumpiyansa, and si Ping always there na para tulungan ka sa defense, and Rafi, and also si Justin. And sobrang thankful ako sa development. Nakikita ko, and Alex, and si markbarroca. Pag every time nakikita ko sila na doing well dun sa coming up the events, kasi all throughout my career, parang doon ako lagi coming up the events. So sobrang masayang-masaya ako, nakikita ko sila na they're really doing well. And thankful ako dun sa mga contribution nila kasi nakikita ko rin yung sarili sa kanila. So yun. And hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin talaga yung ko. Yun pa rin yung mga memories na hindi mawawala sa akin. And yun lang yung only jersey na pinrame ko, yung Sunday Coffee talaga. Kaya sobrang memorable sa akin yun.
Thank you, Pete.
Mark, nawala ka kanina. You were spinning the hands.
Hindi, nalobat. Ito pala.
Lobat.
Yan. Yan yung Grand Slam. Mga kamay. Yan yun.
Mga kamay yung buong team?
Yeah, Justin.
Ba't wala yung kamay ko dyan?
Gusto daw niya totoo. Totoong kamay mo daw.
So,
Wala dyan, Mark.
Diyan, guys.
Alin, tapos Lester, Alex, PJ, ako, James, Ping, tapos yun yung picture sa amin lahat. Tapos,
kita mo na, wala ako.
Marcos, tapos Coach Tim, Boss Cap, yan. Sino ba yan? Joe, Ian, Rafi, and Yusef. Yan yung nakalagay. Yan
wala ako.
Okay.
Doon ko. Ayun o. Focus, focus mo, focus.
Ayan o. Ayan o. The last chance.
Yan.
The last chance.
The last chance.
Good.
How about Joe? Any final messages to your former teammates in sanmigcoffee?
Yeah, I want to I just want to say it was a great honor to play with all those guys. Just to know that we were a part of history, we were a part of something special. One of the greatest teams to have played in the PBA. The relationships and the bond and the brotherhood that we all formed was or is something that that I'm just gonna tell my kids, my grandkids about. It's something that I truly cherish, and I just want to thank everybody there. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Like, I like to think that I'm a nice guy, but I don't know
Yes,
what
Joe.
everybody else thinks.
You are, Joe.
Yeah, okay. But so I just want to thank everybody for just having patience with me, and I know I can be difficult at times, but I really do love everybody that was on that team, and we had a real brotherhood. So very proud.
Justin?
Yeah. It was a special group, kind of like everybody else was saying. That brotherhood, it was fun, going to practice and playing with everyone. It was fun. We were winning. Everybody had each other's back. It was a tight knit family, I'd say. But yeah, I was honored to have played with everybody there. Lucky to be a part of that history, and one of the highlights of my career for sure. So thankful for everybody and thankful for that team. And yeah.
So, Jerwin, just a message to your former teammates. Baka pwedeng humingi ng last chance.
Gaps, na kay Mayor ka pa, Gaps, ha? Oo nga, eh.
Nakay Mayor ka pa.
City Hall pa ako, eh. Siyempre sa akin, sobrang thankful ako dahil naging part ako ng Grand Slam team. Kasi siyempre, bihira nang maging isa sa mga PBA player, maging part ka ng Grand Slam team, lalo na kay coachtimcone, siyempre sa lahat ng coaching staff, lahat ng mga teammates ko, sobrang mabait. Miss ko na kayo, guys. Sana reunion soon. Good luck sa mga karir nyo sa team nyo sa PBA. Ingat kayo lagi. God bless.
Thanks, bro.
Mark?
Gaps. Sino, Mark? Ako?
Ikaw, Mark. Barok. Sorry.
Siguro ako, muna sa lahat, salamat sa Panginoon na binigyan kami ng chance na ito, mag-Grand Slam na. Kay Coach Tim, wala na binigay sa amin, sa akin, sa bawat isa ng teammates, sa mga teammates ko, sa mga especially yung mga seniors ko, James, Pingris, PJ, Joe, Rafi, yung nandyan na, solid na. Tapos yung mga teammates ko na lagi kaming ginawa ni Coach Richard, ako, si Alain, si Alex, and Justin, Ian. So yung parte namin doon, yun yung second group is sobrang fun. Nagpapasalamat ako. Tsaka yung mga third group na sila Jerwin, sila Lester, JR Kawaling, tapos sila Kenbono, sino pa ba yung andun? Valacuña. So yung mga time na katawanan, nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila na siyempre di mo na makikita yung time na kahit hindi sila ginagamit, nandiyan pa rin sila, binibigyan na yung best nila na para matulungan yung bawat isa ng Grand Slam. So, nagpasalamat ako, especially yung mga coaching staff na nagbibigay sa amin. Coach Richard, Johnny, Coach Jeff, Coach Olsen, Coach Mon, Coach Jason, na andoon sila dati na alam mo yung pag struggle ka, lagi kang dinadaan ka na lang sa tawa. Siyempre, pang dagdag kumpiyansa din yun eh. Nasa yun na yun. minsan pag hindi ka makashoot, pagagalitan ka ni Coach Richard, halika, turuan kita mag-free throw. Pag hindi ka makashoot, syempre, yun yung parang si Coach Richard ka makikita mo kasi si Coach Richard yung free throw eh. So, yun yung time na parang sobrang memorable pa sa akin. Yung time na Coach Tim, every time na pinapagalitan ako, pag sobrang kang gigil, sabi sa akin ni Coach Tim.
Oh, always remember, Mark. Don't let your enthusiasm get in front of your execution.
Thank you.
Mark,
thank you,
yung paborito
Coach Tim.
mong linya, Mark, yung yung yesterday.
Yesterday ended last night.
But you said yesterday ended
Mark.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mark,
Coach
kung
Tim,
si
thank you.
Coach Richard yung free throw shooting coach nyo, sino naman yung nagte-training sa inyo sa mga one-hander? Lahat kami one-hander eh.
Di ko nga alam eh, baka nagkakasabay-sabay kami eh. Kasi puro ganun yung
Si
tira na
PJ,
dumating ako.
di ba? Sino ba nauna?
Buti naman. Sige
Dati
lang.
Sige, siyempre. James Yap. Yan na yung James Yap eh. Yun yung laro niya talaga eh. Yung ganun. Tapos nakikita ko si PJ. Tapos ako,
nag-start
yung time na parang nakita ko sila Pingris. Yun yung parang pwede pala mag 100 ito eh. So parang tuloy-tuloy na lang. Puro 100 kami lang.
Well, with Marcus, we were like the worst free throw shooting team in the league. Remember, everybody would foul Marcus on purpose. Marcus would shoot like 20 free throws a game. And everybody would complain that we get two more free throws than the other team. I don't know if you guys remember that. There was always complaining we had more free throws than the other team, but everybody would foul Marcus all the time. Automatically, he'd get 20 free throws a game. And then the next day they'd say, I remember Talking Tex would always be complaining that we got extra free throws from the team. And I would say, well, quit fouling Marcus all the time. That was Richard's fault because we were such a bad free throw shooting team.
Rafi, you played for so long in the PBA, played with a lot of great teams. But what did set this apart for you? What made this team special?
I think the camaraderie we had, and I think that started with Coach Tim coming in and just changing the culture that we were used to. Coach Tim brought a different aspect to the coaching that we were used to. As one of the guys mentioned earlier, how he'd have us watching John Maxwell or some excerpt from a book or something like that. It was always something that would something challenging, like something that would challenge our minds and it would help us not only on the court but in life. And everybody just bought in. He made it fun. Like practice was fun. You wanted to go to practice. You knew you were going to have a good time. Everybody competed. Everybody, just, we liked each other. We just had a good time. Just a very special group. Like, even from the imports, like. And I need to know your secrets, Coach Tim. How do you always get these imports that just come in? You win all the time, and this dates back to Sean Chambers days, and those imports from back in the day until today. He's still doing it. So we're going to have to sit down and have a conversation because I need to steal some of your secrets. I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing.
It's oftentimes hit and miss. We just happen to hit.
You don't miss too much. But yeah, it was just I just think we just had a just a great group of guys from the assistants to our head coach. Management was awesome. Rena's always awesome. Boss Cap is Boss Cap.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Boss Cap.
Hi, Boss Cap.
There he is.
There you are, Cap. We're waiting for you.
Yeah.
I'm in a stud meeting.
Last minute, Cap.
Coach.
Yeah.
Salute,
So,
coach.
as they always, as we learned through one of Coach Tim's infamous classes, that we were only as strong as the weakest link, and our weakest link was pretty strong. So that carried us through. Everybody was on the same page, and that's what we talked about working on. Getting everybody to buy in and being on one page. And that's with everything. So I think that's why this group was so special to me. And, I love you guys. I love every one of you all. Even we appreciate what you guys do also as commentators and bringing what you bring to the fans and, the excitement you bring to the fans. We really appreciate you guys, and to teammates, coaches, all you guys, it's just it's gonna be unforgettable, and I was just happy to be a part of that. Just extremely blessed and thankful.
Thanks, Rafi.
Thank you, Cap. Thank you, Cap. Thank you, Cap.
Cap.
Thanks,
For
Raf.
Alvin.
Thank you.
Cap.
Sorry, I'm late. I'm late.
You won a bunch of championships in the PBA, won 4 MVPs, but being on the sideline, being the team manager of the Grand Slam team, ano yung special dito sa grupo na to?
I don't think Cap heard you.
Cap?
Yes, sir, Carlo.
Yes, Cap. Question lang, what made this team special, Cap? The Grand Slam team of 2014.
Of course, everybody's dream naman is to win a Grand Slam, diba, in the PBA. And blessed to be a part of this group. Kasi nung player ako, never kong na-achieve yung Grand Slam. But now as team manager, nakuha ko yung goal na yon. And nakita ko lang sa team na they're very serious, they're very focused. Syempre with the guidance of Coach Tim. Coach Tim, salute.
Thank you,
and
brother.
the rest of the coaching staff. Tapos yung combination ng players, veterans, and na draft namin si Ian, parang grabe, complete na. Due na for championships. May times na talagang even in the parang eliminations, hindi maganda yung record namin but towards the playoffs, dun bumabanat yung team because of yung lumalabas na yung character ng team.
Man in the table.
Yes. Parating ganon, parating sa semis best of 7 with Ginebra. Ganon yung parating ng team. So talaga yung character and yung relationship, yung ng team, yung samahan ng team, grabe. So solid.
My defining moment with Cap, with that Pure Foods team, was when Enzo made his free throws and Cap came over and hugged him. That was my first moment that I remembered. That I really realized that, I always thought, Cap won 4 MVPs. He's way above everything. He doesn't really care. He just kind of, playing out the thing with it, but he showed me how much he really, really cared at that moment when he hugged Denzel. I mean,
Wow.
Cap was truly crying at that point. I mean, it was amazing to see his passion become passion.
Thank you, Coach.
For that.
That was special, Coach.
It was a special moment, and I'll never forget that. That's ingrained in my mind. That moment.
Probably the best finals game. Game 7.
Yeah, with Denzel.
With Denzel.
That was amazing.
Speaking of special moments, alexmallari, from not really knowing your role, as you said, when you were with Petron, to a Grand Slam champion, part of this team. How special was that year for you, Alex?
Oh man, for me, I'm that guy who shouldn't be on the team, like for real. I truly think that, like, I don't know, my situation for me, like timing when I came out here in the PBA, like the timing just, I guess, was perfect. Like I struck lightning in a bottle with this team. Like if I came like 1 year later or 1 year earlier, I guess anybody really, then this didn't happen for me. But everything I have now, like I have a restaurant in La Union, like on a beach. Like I'm doing stuff I would have never, I can't even like dream about. Like,
he's frozen.
Yeah, I think we lost Alex, unfortunately.
I was gonna tell Alex. Oh, there you go. I was gonna tell Alex that we moved. Actually, if I may say, I moved heaven and earth to get Alex on our team. I moved heaven and earth to get him on this team. I was so excited to have Alex on this team. And I just really loved his skills and everything that he brought to us.
Coach, I was teammates with Jonas at NLEX for a month or a conference, 2 conferences.
Yeah.
And I think you traded me for Jonas, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
He was.
I don't think he liked me for the first week. I was like, man, it's not my problem, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, we made a very complicated trade to get you. And
I'm pretty sure
to get you.
I'm pretty sure, like, Coach Tim's tripping. I don't know what he's doing.
Magu?
We lost you though, Alex. We didn't hear the end of what you were saying. You were locked off.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, any adventure or I honestly never thought I could take care of myself like this, like in this way, financially. Like honestly, I thought I was gonna like have a normal job, like parking cars or something, and just by chance lightning in a bottle, like I said earlier, man. I think about it a lot, like especially now growing up, it's like ridiculous in every sense of the word. Yeah.
Neat.
Get emotional, sorry.
Yeah.
Ikaw naman, Ping, being the captain of the squad for that year. Ano yung fondest memories or ano yung ibig sabihin sa'yo ng Grand Slam team na to? Sa dami na ng pinagdaanan mo sa career mo and sa buhay mo.
Oh, of course, siyempre, history yan, di ba? But, gusto ko muna sabihin na gusto ko muna magpasalamat kay Coach Tim. You know, big factor talaga siya sa team, sa mga assistant coach.
Thank you.
Kahit anong lakas ng player, kahit anong galing nila, kung wala kang coach at saka mga assistant coach na magagaling, useless yung mga talent ng mga player. Kasi kailangan mong, ang hirap din humawak kasi minsan ng team you know. So iba yun ginagawa ni coach sa team niya. Every time kahit saan mapunta siya, Alaska, Sunny, Ginebra, you know, grabe yun grabe yun kumbaga yung pag-mentor niya sa mga player, hindi lang coach talaga, mentor din talaga si Coach Tim. You know, ang gusto ko sa kanya is yung kakausapin ka niya, talagang sasabihin niya sa'yo kung ano yung gagawin mo. Maganda rin sa kanya yung sinisigawan ka niya. Pinapagalitan ka niya. Kasi you know what? Ito sasabihin ko pag hindi ka kinausap ni Coach Tim, hindi ka pinagalitan, kung hindi ka niya sinigawan, hindi ka niya nagusto. So, I'm so blessed. Sobrang blessed ako na lagi niyang ginagawa sa akin yun. Yes, pinapagalitan niya ako all the time. Sinisigawan niya ako dahil para sa akin yun. Ikakabuti ng team namin. So, sa mga teammate ko, I'm so blessed na nakasama ko sila. Grabe yun. Grabe yung pagmamahalan namin. Grabe yung sacrifice namin. Grabe yun. You know, ang sekreto talaga ng Grand Slam is yun, paano kayo mag-push sa isa't isa, yung mga team. Yung teammate mo, kailangan mo siyang i-push. And then, kailangan kanya rin i-push. Yun lang yung sekreto doon eh. Kailangan makinig ka kung ano yung gusto ng coach. So, siguro napatunayan namin yun dahil talagang inobey namin si Coach Tim sa lahat ng ginagawa nila. So, may tiwala kami sa kanya eh. So, I'm so blessed na naging part ako ng Grand Slam sa lahat ng mga teammates ko, sa lahat ng tulungan namin sa team, kung paano kami mag-practice. So, sobrang blessed lang talaga na nagkaroon ako talaga ng isang coach na team cone at saka mga assistant coach namin. Kasi, pag ayaw, kumbaga, kung may mali talaga sa'yo, kakausapin ka niya eh. Kahit, kahit superstar ka o mapa-third team ka, talagang ang maganda sa nila, kinakausap nila bawat isang player. Yun yung maganda. So, kaya nung na-trade si Coach Tim.
Thank you, Peng.
Talagang hindi. Alam mo nga,
I'm a little overwhelmed right now.
Sasabihin sa'yo to. Dahil sobrang sobrang grabe yung impact ng ginawa niya yung Coach Tim sa buhay ko. Kung bakit naging markpingris ako dahil siguro sa coach. So coach, sa lahat ng mga assistant coach, sa lahat Coach Tim coach, thank you sa mga team ko. Thank you so much. Talagang kumbaga katulad ng sinasabi ni Joe, siguro madalas kong i-share din sa family ko to, sa mga kaibigan ko na sobrang blessed kami na nagkaroon kami talaga ng magandang relasyon sa team. Kaya siguro nagkaroon kami, siguro nakuha namin yung Grand Slam. So, kaya nga laging, pag nakikita ko si Coach, talagang lagi ko niyayakap rin. But sa lahat ng mga Coach, talagang saludo kami sa inyo. Kung paano turuan ni Coach Richard na sa post move. So, yun, lahat yun talagang nasa ko yung Coach. Talagang ino-honor, kumbaga, kahit pagtanda ko, talagang nasa sarili ko yun, dala-dala ko yun habang buhay. So, thank you so much sa lahat ng mga teammate ko, Joe, lahat yun. Sa PJ, Justin, Raf, Mark, sa mga wala rito, jamesyap, salamat, thank you. Naging part ng Grand Slam.
Thank you, Ping. Thank you.
Thank you, Ping, man. That means a lot, man. Means a lot.
Miss Rina, I know every iteration, every batch of your team dito sa franchise nyo, you treat them or you feel like they are your family. But how special was this batch, the 2014 team for you?
Very special. I mean, not to discriminate the current batch or the batches before the Grand Slam batch. This one was very special because ito talaga yung team. Well, personally, for me, this was the time that I felt I belonged. That I felt what I did for the team really mattered. That was mostly in part because of coaching and the system that he gave na para matulungan ko yung team. Ang isa lang ang turo sa akin kasi ni Coach Tim noong time na yun. It was to make everybody feel comfortable. Lahat ng, especially when out of town, because their job is to play. So everything else in the back end, I should take care of. And I think I was able to do my job well kasi nananalo naman kami. And,
thank you, Ma'am Rina. Thank you.
And yung system and the discipline that started with us. So parang sobrang thankful ako. Dun ko feel na, wow, I can belong sa group na to na lahat sila lalaki. And I've never felt discriminated. Walang gender bias. I felt like I was one of them. Na-feel ko nga lalaki na din ako eh. So, pero yun, sobrang saya to be with this team. And I think mag-trickle down na siya up to today, to the current team that Magnolia has. So yun, sobrang thankful ako kasi nag-start yun with sina Coach Tim.
Thank you rin, Ma'am Prince. Hanggang ngayon, pag nakikita mo ako, nililibre mo pa rin ako sa Starbucks. Thank you.
Napakakunat mo pa rin hanggang ngayon, Char. And thank you again, Ma'am Rina, for... Thank you again, Ma'am Rina, for helping us put this together. Speaking of guys who put in the work, kung hindi naging head coach ng 2 weeks si Coach Chard, malamang hindi kayo nanalo ng Grand Slam. How proud of you are about your work here, Coach Chard?
No. Ibig sabihin, ano lang to eh. There are good teams, there are great teams, and there's a special team. And itong grupo na to is a special team. And I think at the time that we accomplished the Grand Slam in 2014, hindi pa nare-realize at that time yung magnitude. I mean, everybody's saying, yeah, okay, Grand Slam, it was really great. But you don't really feel it yet. But right now, years after, na magkakahiwalay na rin kami ng teams, this is a time that you really feel what you accomplished, and you realize, especially in time na ngayon that we're all facing this pandemic, no, you really look back at your life, and you see what the important things are, and you realize that was really a part of your life that really changed everything for you. And that's why you can hear all the guys here whenever they talk, they're getting emotional because it was really special. And yung bond na form of that team is mahirap ma-describe. And that's why every time we see each other sa venues or kahit saan, it's just like yesterday, parang kasama mo pa rin sila. It's something that I don't think anybody can experience unless you're really part of this team. It's very hard to explain. And, just being given a chance to be part of that, from just being a fan of the league, nung bata pa tayo, lumaki tayong fan of the league, to being part of the history that, nobody else can erase. And, later on, years from now, when we're all retired, and not in the league anymore, and they decide to do a documentary about this team, and you'll be part of that. It's parang it's really special, and I guess this time is the best time to really think about stuff. And yun nga, yung mga naging experiences namin all together, nila Ping, nila Mark, sila PJ. I'm really hoping na na matuloy itong season ngayon, at least para bigyan ng magandang retirement ceremony to si PJ because he deserves it. And of course, si Joe and Rafi, I don't think you'll be retiring soon. You'll be playing until your 7th year, something like that. And, of course, Melt, and other guys, si Boss Cap, was really a big part. And even si Jerwin, no? So I mean, yung mga bonds lang na na-form from those years until now, yung value nun, I think, was really mas nare-realize mo ngayon. So I'm just thankful for everyone.
Thank you, Coach Chard, for joining us. And it's hard enough to win one championship in the PBA, and it's almost impossible to actually get a Grand Slam. This man, in the middle of the San Mig franchise back in 2014, actually has 2 of these Grand Slams now. Coach Tim, how'd you do it?
You get a bunch of special people around you, and they do it for you. I've been blessed to be around 2 special groups. I can't disregard Alaska and how special they were. But you got to remember, it was like 18, 19 years after that Grand Slam that Europe was winning. What it's been like 6 years since then. So this is the only time in the last 26, 24, 25 years that someone won a Grand Slam. So it just goes to show, again, Richard said it, they're good teams, they're great teams, and they're special teams. And this was a special group that found ways to win. And I look back on it and I say, I still don't understand how we did it, but guys played big moments, big times, and they did that because they were just special guys who had a special relationship. And I just feel, special to be a part of it. And I mean, this has been a love fest for me, guys. You're making me emotional talking about me and all this stuff, but this is all you guys, man. And stuff you went through to get there was really incredible. I just steered the ship, but you did all the work.
Thank you for that wonderful message, Coach Tim. And before we let everyone go, we just want to wish Peter June Simon a happy birthday this coming weekend.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Tomorrow pa, di ba?
Happy birthday.
Sabi,
Exactly what it sounded like.
It's like 1,000 cows dying all at the same time.
Happy
I think maybe because we were all getting older, none of us wanted to really celebrate our birthday, so it was more sad than happy.
Again, we thank everyone.
Joe,
for,
that was
for
actually
joining
Joe
this
was the
call.
one who did that all the time. Joe, that was Joe's birthday song. You were the one that started that.
That's my favorite.
PJ, happy birthday from 2OT and from the rest of your San Mig Coffee teammates.
Beach.
Nakamute ka, Pid.
Beach, you're on mute.
Mute.
You're on mute, man.
Sorry. There you go.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Carlo and Magu. Thank you so much.
Si Alain yata hindi nakapag-message. Lane, final message to your San Mig Coffee teammates.
Nawala kanina eh. Andiyan na. Ayun.
I'm blessed.
Parang ng Koreano Ano dyan nangyari sa'yo?
Love you.
I still don't believe that's Elaine. I think that's somebody else, imposter. Like Elaine.
Hey, Lane, remember
Yes.
McDonald's in Korea?
What?
Remember McDonald's?
Yeah.
K-pop.
You asked
K-pop.
Coach Tim if he still remember it.
Coach
K-pop.
Tim, you're
Me, I remember it. Me,
What happened, McDonald's?
Rafi and Yusuf were buying in McDonald's. And then he came by, he opened the door, he shouted at us because we were already late in the bus. And the whole McDonald's crew was shocked. And we're like 1 kilometer away from the bus. We're walking fast. And, I'm just blessed because like PJ, kasi ito lang din yung jersey na pina-frame ko buong career ko. Yung San Mig Coffee. Yeah.
Nice. Nicely.
Kasi because of this team, because of my teammates and my coaches, nabili ko tong house na tinitirahan ko right now.
Yes.
So I'm really blessed and thankful talaga sa bawat isa. Yan, simula kay Ping, kila Mark, James, PJ, Ping, Rafi, Joe, Coach Tim especially, siya yung parang isa sa nagkuha and nag-ano nung team na kaya napunta ako sa team na to eh. And as in, ang dami kong natutunan from them and yun, I'm really thankful and blessed na naging part ako ng history and ng team ng San Mig. Yun lang.
Alain, parang Korean ka.
Congrats, Lane.
Alain, Koreano ka na.
Bruce Lee ang Bruce Lee.
Korean
Bruce Lee.
North Korea na lang, North Korea.
Len, mag-yelo ka, Len. Si Bruce Lee ka na.
Everyone, again, from 2OT, for Magumar John, we thank you for joining us here in this outstanding reunion of the San Mig Coffee Mixers. Ma'am Rina, maraming salamat po for setting it up and getting everyone on this call. So that has been it. We thank everyone who watched on our Facebook Live. We thank, of course, the members of the Sanmig Coffee Mixers from 2014. And we will see you next time. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Awesome
Thank
seeing
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice try.
Thank you.